You know, it's you go back to the hotel. Teams had a good session together, talking about the night, and it doesn't change a lot how you feel. It's you know, that's the brutal part of a World Cup final. There's a winner and a loser, and the loser's never going to feel very good. But you know, it doesn't change the level of commitment that's gone into it, and the level of commitment that went onto the park on that day, and you know, sense of pride with that. But it's always tempered with the fact you're going there for one result, and we didn't quite get it.
What was it like afterwards? And the team's been much harder than Springboks as well?
No, not a lot. There's a few individuals caught up with individuals, but the post-game stuff's pretty regimented nowadays, with you know, with all the different media requirements teams have to do and stuff. So it's actually quite hard to get together in an informal sense. But I know some players caught up with each other.
Despite the loss, Ian, it's still important that you get around each other to celebrate. I suppose those guys that are leaving, yourself and management that are moving on as well.
Yeah, it is. It's you know, it's still part of a big family that's invested a lot into it, and so that sort of stuff we'll probably do a little bit of that this evening, and saying goodbye to a few people. And I think it's key to not blur those roles. I think you've got to focus on the final first, and deal with that emotionally and as a group. And the second step is, I guess, to say goodbye to people that are leaving, and that's a significant part of the management team, and you know, some pretty special rugby players who put a lot into the jersey. It's like I keep saying, the nice thing about it is us also making sure that those who are remaining feel massively supported by those of us that are leaving, because you know, I think statistically there's actually not a big group of players leaving, you know, when you look at the percentage of the whole overall squad. So you know, the guys that are staying, they've got a big job to do.
Ian, as captain, how did he get through? You know, how is he the day after?
Oh look, he's devastated last night. You would have picked that up, and you know, it's from a personal side. Look, he's got a team that treasure him, and so they've surrounded him, and he'll continue to lead that group as the way he does. So but he's, you know, there's no shortcuts to getting over that, I don't think. But we just got to let him know that it is what it is. It's the game, and you know, and in spite of that, he knows we still gave ourselves a chance.
He says it's something he's going to have to look for. I think that's, you know, that's probably something he should probably try and change his mindset on.
Yeah, I think he'll, you know, probably today is not the right day to try to convince him of that. You know, I think it's fair to talk to him about that, but it's just, you'll be sitting around a barbecue and someone will ask you what it was like. You know, in 6 months' time, there'll be references to this final, and his name will get attached to it, and so people won't look beyond that to what goes into it leading up to that point. They'll see that fact. So, but look, I love him. With his involvement with the team's been fantastic, and it doesn't change anything from my eyes or the players' eyes. And we know that's the nature of the game, and we saw some fine lines last night in that area, and he was on the wrong side of it.
Do you think you've left the team, leaving the team in a better place than you
Oh, I'd actually, I'm not sure that's my question to answer. If you ask me, am I proud of what we've done, the answer is yes. And I'll leave that to everyone else to answer the other one. But I think I got asked last night about what my proudest moment was, and it was last night. and to be in the final, to see the team give everything, and to play for a cause, I think is pretty special. And so there's not much more you can ask as a coach.
I know the players obviously still very fresh, but with all that's going on in the world, is it easy to find perspective?
Yep. Is it easy to find perspective? Can you just ask me a little bit more what you think there?
Well, ultimately it is a game of rugby, it's sport, it's not life or death, and there are a lot of people in the world at the moment that are facing those sorts of situations.
Yeah, look, from that sense, yep, I think there is a perspective about it. It is a sport, we know that. But I think internally it's we kind of see our role to be the best we can be. We feel that if we do that we've got a little wee glimpse of a chance just to put a smile on people's faces amidst all the other stuff that goes on in life. And so we want to do the best we can, and we want to achieve that. And so it's kind of hard. I think, you feel like you haven't quite done what we wanted to do. But the flip side of it is hopefully people will see that it mattered to this group, and playing for this jersey mattered, and we did everything we could, and we're on the day beaten by a team that did a little bit more than us. I probably don't at the moment. I probably haven't. I sort of look. I know everyone's got their own interpretations of the last 4 years, and I've read stuff written in here from different perspectives. You've got people here who everyone in the country's got a different filter of how they view you. They got a filter where they didn't want you in the first place, and so they filter everything you do based on that. And that's okay. But for me, my role as an All Black head coach is to do the best I can and give everything to the job with the group that I've been given in the circumstances. So I'm going to go to bed with a smile on my face and a sense of satisfaction, but a bit of a hole of not achieving the final goal. And I'll leave the rest to others. Sounds like I'm dead.
He spoke about your care for the team. How do you want to be remembered as the coach of the
Like I said, what I've learned in the last 4 years is how I want to be remembered doesn't really matter, because everyone else is going to write their views, and it's hard to compete with that. So, and I'm not sulking saying that, I'm just saying that's the truth. And people have their own filters of how they view All Black coaches, and but I'm proud of this group, and if I get remembered from within the group as being someone who cared and united this group, then I'll take that.
When will you take time to reflect on the past 4 years, even the past as well? What are you going to miss the most about this group, about this job?
What am I going to miss? I'm going to miss walking up the stairs to the coach's box before a test. There's something about it. There's something about going and taking your seat and watching the All Blacks play. And believe it or not, I love that. And I keep reminding myself that, it's a privileged position to be in. And then after that, it's the people, full stop. It's seeing young men grow, and young men have to deal with the same pressure that I get put under, that they get put under. And learning how to help people grow through that. So that'd be the things that I 100% miss the most.
Ian, you said that you want to carry on coaching, and you've also said the thing you miss the most is walking up the stairs for an All Blacks test, which you're not going to be doing. So can the two worlds exist? Can you still enjoy coaching? Can you still find the thrill? Can you still imagine that it's something that will drive you in the same way?
Yep. I was asked a few questions about what I was going to do, and I think, Richard, you asked me the question, and I said I was going to mow the lawns and then carry on coaching, if I remember rightly. I think. Yeah. But can I just say that, and again, I'm not trying to convince you of motives here, because I know you wrote a very different article based on what I thought were half-truths, but I'm not saying they were your half-truths, fed from your side of the story, but I disagreed with how this year went. I said that publicly. I disagreed with some decisions that New Zealand Rugby made on the basis of what I felt was the best thing for this team. It wasn't based on the fact of my desire to coach beyond this World Cup. It was based on what I felt was the right thing for the team. And I stand by that. And even my players last night, today, are telling me, well, now you can tell me what you've got planned, Ian. And I said, well, this is what I've said. I said, when I made that decision in March to speak out, I also made a decision to refuse to talk to anyone about my plans. And so any time I got offered an opportunity to coach after the World Cup, I said I wasn't interested until after the World Cup to talk about it. And I felt that the team deserved to have an All Black head coach that they knew was 100% committed to this team right now. And so that's what I did. So there's no secret plans. My goal, and it's just maybe my stubborn pride or what, but I felt the right thing for the team is every time they looked at me, I didn't want them reading that I was talking to someone else or looking at something else, because I don't think that's conducive to a team environment. That's only my view. And so technically I'll get home and 1st of November be unemployed.
So once you've mowed the lawns, would you consider coaching international rugby again?
Yep.
Sounds like Eddie might resign.
Oh, I do not want to get caught up in that saga. But funnily enough, I made a decision to not talk to another international team before the World Cup for that very reason, because I didn't think it was going to. I didn't think it looks good.
Would it be tough to coach against the All Blacks?
Yep.
Would you sort of enjoy that challenge? There's nothing, I mean, Robbie Deans once said there's sort of nothing like pitting your wits and go against your countrymen, even though it's an unusual situation.
Yeah, look, I don't know. I mean, you guys know me. I don't want to go around. I don't tell people everything that I'm doing or thinking and talking about, because I just don't think it's right for the market. I'll figure things out. There might be nothing. The inbox might be empty on Wednesday, Thursday, and then I will be mowing the lawns a lot. In fact, I'll probably start a business, and I'd like you guys to promote it for me. It'd be good.
As you know, after games like this, there's often back home a bit of a blame game. And I don't know, this is I'm getting a lot of people having shots at Wayne Barnes. I know it's easy to blame the ref, but what would you say to that? What would you say to, I guess, people that feel they have to kind of put someone in their sights and play that blame game after a 12-11 game?
Yeah, look. Look, I think the end of the day, Joe, your question kind of answers that. We've got to have a perspective about this, and it's a tough game to referee. There's a lot of pressure on, and look, Wayne's a quality person and been a quality referee for a long, long time, and and I didn't agree with a number of his decisions last night, but that doesn't change the fact he's a quality person and a quality referee. And I think we've just got to own what we own. We're certainly not sitting around. I mean, I think the issues in the game, many of them are outside of his control. And I'll give you an example. We score a try, and then it gets taken back because of a little knock-on at a line-out called by the TMO. Now, that's correct. It's a correct decision. And but then in the first half, Artie Severe wins a legitimate turnover and gets penalised for being off his feet and no clear release. And then when Wayne sees it on the big screen, he sees that he was actually wrong and says to Artie, actually, I got that wrong. But straight after that, Pollard kicks 3 points for a penalty. So he doesn't correct it. Now, I don't think we should blame Wayne Barnes for that. But the game's got an issue where it seems to come down a little bit to which decisions they feel they want to correct. And that's the sad part of last night. And the good thing about that is it's actually not a lot to do with Wayne Barnes, and it's nothing to do with our respect for South Africa, because, mate, you got to hand it to them. They were a hard nut to crack last night. But they're the little parts of the game that I think need to be addressed, because it's giving space for people to fill it with theories and conspiracies and all that sort of stuff.
You spoke about the group that is staying. Do you have a message to the players and management who are now tasked with taking this team forward?
No, I'm about 2 days away from the irrelevant file.
How's the group? He got flattered, I think, but even for another incident that for some reason wasn't picked up by the TMO. I mean, is that another?
Well, that probably just felt. The answer is Ethan's fine.
Yeah.
But again, that's another situation where the game gets clouded, doesn't it? And
Do you think Coetzee should have been red carded because it's very similar stuff?
No, I don't. I think, but I think, nor do I think Sam should have been red carded, because I don't think there was the force that they said there was put into it. So it's how you, and again, Richard, I'm not being critical of the decisions, but how do you classify someone who rushes in from 10 metres away off a line-out overthrow and has a head collision because he's gone in too high, with someone who's just reacted with half a metre of space and hasn't brought that same degree of force to the tackle? So that's where the game is. It's so hard to get that combination right. That's all.
Do you think that's the biggest issue facing international rugby at the moment, the intervention and everything like that in the game?
Well, yeah, I do. I think that's 2 World Cup finals in a row. There's one in New Zealand last year that we all remember. And now you've got this one, 2 in a row that have been impacted pretty significantly by red cards. Because you've also got the fact that a red card with 10 minutes to go is very different from a red card with 60 minutes to go. The impact on the game's different, the punishment's different. And quite frankly, the Southern Hemisphere's plea with World Rugby to make the red card a 20-minute thing needs to be listened to straight away. Has to be. Because early in the game red card has such a dramatic impact on it versus a late in the game red card. So I just can't see any logic why it wouldn't be brought in.
You say it needs to be listened to. 2 Southern Hemisphere teams playing in a final, which I'm sure most people walked away from thinking was gripping. Inevitably there'll be an administration that won't see a compulsion to change anything, truly.
Yeah, well, it's like a big container ship. It moves slowly, but it needs to move quickly, because there's just too much. To me, it's a it's a pretty obvious one that needs to change.
Do you think, would you like to see Sam continue as captain?
Look, I don't want to say anything about that because it's not my decision. You know, all I know is how high I regard him and how high this team regards him. So, don't want to be giving out advice.
Would you like to work with Joe Schmidt again down the track?
I'd absolutely love to work with Joe Smith. I think he's outstanding. He's been fantastic for this group. He's, as a human being, he's quality. He does what he says he's going to do, which is how you can assess a man. And you know, he's come in and I've loved the time coaching with him, and I've told him that he enjoys coaching with me too. So I'm not sure he's really believed that yet, but no, he's quality and he's been outstanding for us.
And just on with Jace Ryan, he does carry on. He does carry the torch. I mean, good hands, and it seems to be.
Yeah, Jace is awesome, and he's come in and done a really good job and learnt a lot about the international game, so that'll hold him in good stead.
He took it pretty hard last night. He beat it talk.
Yep,
That's
probably wasn't alone there. Thank you.